Well, as we find the way back to education, we're now getting guidance from the state. A lot of Arizona families I know have been waiting for this. These are suggestions meant to help districts and families develop a plan for going back to school this fall. So State Superintendent Kathy Hoffman says they took input from public health experts as well as education leaders to develop what they are calling a roadmap for reopening schools. The document, nearly 40 pages. The state suggests districts come up with plans for 4 scenarios. All students physically learning at school, all students at home distance learning, a combination of the two, or intermittent distance learning if in case there was an emergency closure. The document refers to a lot of the CDC's guidance, really. One of the suggestions calls for physical distancing by creating small groups, limiting mixing as well between groups. So that could mean measures like barriers in the classroom, assigned seating on school buses, creating one-way routes in the hallways, also even staggered schedules. We talked about that, staggered drop-off and pickup times, closing or staggering use of shared spaces like cafeterias or playgrounds. For staff or students considered high risk, the recommendations are getting personal protection equipment, modified job responsibilities for the staff, and also offering virtual learning options to reduce the risk to students. Parents like Lauren Pack are concerned about how safe classes will be, as one of her 4 children is a type 1 diabetic, which puts her at a higher risk.
And I just don't know how a school system keeps those kids that are higher risk from getting sick, but you also can't deny them access to school. That's part of public school. And so, yes, I need to make sure that she's around the healthiest people. I don't know if an 8-hour school day in a tiny classroom with 33 kids is an option, but I also can't find it in my heart to say it's equal for her to stay home while her other siblings go to school.
So a lot of parents, of course, you have to decide what's best for your child. Using the roadmap, though, it'll be up to each district to decide what works best for their students and teachers. We haven't received a timeline yet for when districts have to have a plan in place. But again, now there is more guidance, really following what the CDC has already suggested. One of the things that also came up in the document, I know parents have asked face masks. How can students learn with face masks? That is a consideration under there. If it's appropriate, if social distancing can't be used, of course, with limitations for kids under 2, no face masks there, but many things to consider.